Jack, do you remember Revenge of the Cybermen?
I vaguely remember Revenge of the Cybermen. Yeah,
That's got Wookey Hole in it.
Yes.
You want to go?
Yeah,
Wookey
I
Hole?
say it in Somerset. It's my favourite hole. But you know how critical I am about things being, they need to make sense, and I'd hate plot holes and shit like that. I haven't been able to fault The Mandalorian, really. Like, the whole time I've been like, every time it does something that I think isn't right, it comes around and I'm like, actually, no, that does make sense, and I do like that, and it's fine. Like, it's okay, you know, it's good.
It's not trying to go from one fucking location to the other every 5 minutes. It's just pretty grounded. It's staying.
It doesn't help that
local.
I kind of like I nerded out on Star Wars for a bit, and I started to look into things too much, and then I'm like, oh, now it's ruined.
Now you're becoming Jack.
Yeah. Now it's all ruined, but it hasn't ruined The Mandalorian still, because it actually does stay true to itself. Which is why when I first watched the that last movie, It Must Not Be Named. I actually didn't hate it when I first watched it. It was like,
the ascension of Palpatine.
Yeah, I'm like, it's not a good film, but it's not awful. It's all right.
It's got echoes of Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
You initially watch that movie and you go, I kind of enjoy it.
Yeah,
the moment you start to think about any moment, any aspect of the Dark Knight Rises falls down when you really start to think about it.
The longer I haven't watched it for, the more I hate it, and the more I think. Actually, it was probably one of the worst films I've ever seen in my life. Like, it wasn't bad when I watched it, but now almost every scene I look at it and go, well, that was shit, and that was shit, and why, and that, and what, and it doesn't help.
He's a spice.
But it doesn't help.
He sells spice? When did he become a spice runner? What the hell? Why is she flying around on a Y-Wing? Why does everyone just suddenly turn up? Why did General Hux just get shot across the room?
I mean, even when I was watching it, there was points where I'm like, okay, well, that doesn't make any sense, but I'm going to kind of just let it go, because there's a lot in Star Wars that doesn't make sense. But it takes the biscuit. Like, what I read about is like in A New Hope, like, they don't really talk about hyperdrive. They don't talk about how long it takes or how far things are away. They just say it just does. It just goes there, and you know. But in this one, 16 minutes or whatever it was, like a specific time frame. So now you think, okay, so you went from here to there to here to there to here, did all these things in that amount of time. That was, how fast are you going? How far away are things? Because that makes no sense. I don't really understand. It doesn't bear any relevance to anything that's happened so far up to this.
Why do lasers bend?
Why are you suddenly documenting this now?
Intentionally you need to make sci-fi vague if you can't, like, unless you put in
unless you explicitly explain it, you have to keep it vague.
You've got two options. You can either really do a lot of backstory, like explanation of, right, we're going to build hyperdrive, we're going to explain it scientifically, we need to understand as writers how it works. We might not have to explain it to the audience, but I know how it works, I know its limitations, and I know everything, and then you can write it in. If you don't do that, just keep it vague. It doesn't matter. Tachyon fields, it's fine. So that's what Star Trek did. Tachyon beams, reverse the polarity of the tachyon beam. No one knows what the fuck that means. It doesn't matter. It's never explained. It doesn't have
science
to.
Jargon
it just works.
The story.
Yeah.
So they use it.
It doesn't need to work. It doesn't need to make sense.
Polarity of the neutron flow.
Yeah, you just have to just say words, and it's fine. But when you try to make things
like it got so right in both seasons is the casting for particular characters that make you go, oh, that's such a good piece of casting. Like the episode where Ahsoka Tano turns up.
Yeah. And
you've got the general, the captain of the guard, and it's Hicks from Aliens. And I was like, that is an amazing piece of casting. Like, he's an old man now, and you're like, oh, you can totally believe, because of other movies in your head, I'm going, oh, no, I can totally believe him being a grizzled veteran who's just like here doing a job. And he's just there doing a job and being a badass. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. even people like Bill Burr's character gets more developed.
Looking at Chibnall
and you get his backstory when he ends up by having to sit opposite that officer who's like, yeah, you remember that massacre?
Oh, that was a brilliant scene.
Yeah,
that was the best scene. That was such a good scene.
And that actor is wicked as well. He's been in a lot of horror stuff. He was the original.
Oh yeah, I know who you're on about.
The actor that you love to hate, but like you actually relate to him. It's like, yeah, you're a dick, but I know why, and that's fine. I would be a dick too.
You're supposed to be a dick because you're volunteering to work for the Empire.
Of course you're a dick, because why wouldn't you? That's what normal people would be in your situation. You're not a hero. You're just like, this is fucking shit. But like what you've got to try to make a comparison to is essentially an Imperial dude that doesn't want to be an Imperial dude no more, and then you compare that to Finn or whatever his name is. Like,
there is no comparison.
There is no comparison. Like, Finn's like, you're not. There's no anger. There's just, what is this? Like, there's no emotion in there. There's no.
The only difference I can think of is that.
It starts off well.
When Bill Burr's characters turn into a stormtrooper, they're not indoctrinated. They actually believe it, and then whatever they do, they come out of it. Finn's is slightly different, whereas they're indoctrinated as children, and it's like programming to a certain extent that fails. But there's no fallout from it. It's suddenly, oh, we did some bad stuff. Oh no, I'm not doing this anymore. And you're like, that's not how this would work. But okay,
I don't know. It's too cinnamon-ized. It's like a cinnamon bun. He's too. it's like it's too fake. You can't relate. It's like he's too happy. Like, your whole life has been a lie. Your whole life has led up to this moment. Everything has collapsed beneath you. everything. You're just too happy.
And you're taking this in your stride far too easily.
Yeah, you would be absolutely. You'd be such an emotional wreck, and you just seem to be like fucking loving life.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, the thing is,
you're not a dick. You should be a dick. You should be such a dick. And
it would have made more sense to me if, and this is where I thought they were going to go with his character, that he was going to be the one who had the force powers, and he didn't realise it, and he's suddenly now listening to his call, and he's like, "The fuck am I being a stormtrooper for?" And then he starts to learn. Oh, actually,
well, this is why.
That's not how the force works.
But then
this is why the last three movies didn't work. Is because they didn't write them properly.
Well,
like there was no. They wrote the first one, and then they wrote the second one and didn't really care about the first one, and then they wrote the third one and didn't really care about the third. And there's no sequence of events there's no character development that make every single one. Is like, well, you've just thrown away everything that's happened in the previous. What?
The middle one is the worst.
Yeah,
because the third one's only bad because the middle one's so bad.
The third one feels like a Hail Mary, like, oh, we fucked this one right up.
So here we are. We're going to try and throw loads of stuff into, we'll bring back Palpatine, and we'll have loads of Star Destroyers, and it'll be let's get all the toys and smash them together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
I almost like
look, Wedge. We got Wedge.
They're just sitting in there waiting.
Everyone's like, oh, for
all this time.
I think what makes it so annoying is it was almost so good. It was almost like all the ingredients were right, and they burnt it. Like, it was all perfect, and then they just completely fucked it up. They mixed it wrong.
Because we'd been burnt. Well, okay, at this point, the last Star Wars that we had live action that we could see, that we saw in our lifetimes, that was made in our lifetimes, were the fucking prequels. So I think for years it was like, right, okay, anything, come on, give us some, like, proper Star Wars and all this sort of stuff, and then you think, great, Force Awakens, but then when you kind of look back on it and go, oh wait, no, that wasn't very good, was it? And then you start to look at the prequels.
Is still the exception. I still enjoy it as a film for all its faults.
Is that the first? Is that episode
7?
7, yeah.
Mostly because Han Solo's still there, and there's a lot of mystery in that first film that kind of, you go, let's hope the next film's kind of explain some of it.
Yeah, well,
and then the second one comes along, took all the main plot points of the first film, and then it was just like, oh, let's just chuck all that in the bin.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like
let's deconstruct Star Wars, and they deconstructed Star Wars for a whole movie, and then you're kind of going, well, this is going to get turned into a trilogy. If you completely deconstruct every aspect of it, so that you don't even say I've got a bad feeling about this, or any of the little bits and pieces that you'd expect from a Star Wars movie, well, you haven't got a Star Wars movie. Why did you get rid of all that and then go, oh, well, we got to start from scratch again and make the final movie try and make any sense whatsoever? Come on, JJ, have at it.
But also, but they
and
spent
that's why we got this mess.
They spent the whole of Force Awakens with the mystery of where's Luke Skywalker and building up to Luke Skywalker, and then finally you see him at the end, and you're like, okay,
he doesn't give a shit.
He's going to train. Yeah,
he doesn't give a toss.
Bang! Like that was supposed to be funny, and then he becomes this miserable old twat, and it's like, no, that's not Luke Skywalker. That's someone completely different.
I don't know what they did wrong. Well, I know, but I don't know why. Like,
they made him out to be.
To be honest, it's one of those ones. It's criminal that you didn't get all three of them on screen.
That was one of the worst things
before she died.
Yeah.
And then you kind of sit there and go, "You guys really dropped the ball on this one."
Yeah. Like I could have.
It's almost like you got to that period when those movies were made where fan service became a dirty word.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you can't do. It's just beneath us. We don't want to give the fans what they want.
It's new generation.
What they want.
No, you could do
It's not woke enough.
Want to see all your classics, all those.
We're going to tell you what you want.
Interact with each other as now that they're older, a bit wiser, and probably, hopefully, a bit better and more rounded human beings than when they were before. No. We won't have any of that.
No.
You don't want that.
Like Kylo Ren actually said, it's like, let the past die, kill it if you have to, and that's exactly.
I really wanted to like Kylo Ren. I really, because I tell you now, the first time I watched The Force Awakens, I fucking hated him, because my brain was going, he's trying to be Darth Vader, but no one can be Darth Vader, and he's just so annoying. He's like an emo fucking teenager, and that's when I realised that's the point.
Yeah, he is.
That's the point. You're supposed to hate him for that exact reason. And I'm like, oh, I love him. I love him now because I hate him, and I'm supposed to hate him, and that's the point. And I get it.
I still don't get that from him. I just get like.
I also just don't understand why they took it. Why take his mask off?
They didn't fix it. They should have fixed it by them showing him mature, which they almost did, into a certain version that wasn't Darth Vader. But he kind of went backwards and forwards too many times, and by the end of it, I'm like, I don't know who you are now, and I don't give a shit. I've kind of lost interest in him.
It's like he smashed the helmet and then glued it back together.
Yeah, I don't understand. What I don't get is your arc doesn't have an arc because you've been written by 3 different people.
Yeah.
With the 3 different opinions of how you should look, so you've literally your arc's like this, and now I've lost interest. But his arc could have been amazing. Yeah. And
getting away from those terrible movies and back onto some actual decent Star Wars.
I like to complain, Harry.
Yeah, this is what we're all here for, is it not? With Kylo Ren, it got to the point where he never became one of those love to hate villains for me. It became one of those.
He sounds too much like Kermit the Frog.
Yeah, I'm going to use a wrestling terminology here. He didn't have like I hate you heat. He had just go away heat. It was like just fuck off. Just really irritating, but not.
Yeah, but I do agree with you. I 100, which is why I didn't like him when I first saw him, and it wasn't until I realised that's what they were going for, and then I appreciated him because he achieved the point.
What it was they were
his
giving.
Character.
Yeah, but if they were going for that,
there used to be characters that it's like that annoying kid in the anime things. That I think the whole point of you is to be annoying, and that's you. Well done. That's it. You've done it. I fucking hate you. But I can't hate you because that's the point. Yeah, exactly. Everyone loves to hate Joffrey. That's why he is the way he is. He's not a bad character. He's a fucking perfect character. He's played it perfectly.
Hello.
Hello, Jack.
How's it going, Judge Dredd?
Hey, I'm all right. How are you guys doing?
We're all good. But you were just. I could probably feel like there's like burning on the ears because we were talking about Star Wars.
Well, that is the power of Star Wars. It just you mentioned it too many times. I just appear.
It just turns up. It's like, hang on,
Star Wars, and then Jack's there.
Now let me stop you there, you noob.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah, basically, just to sum up the
we're just saying how much we fucking loved the final 3 movies, the sequels. They were just amazing. Like, absolutely made the movie. Kylo Ren had the best arc. And just the fact that Palpatine arrived at the end was just like, oh, mind blowing.
Of course,
we had 2 Palpatines. One Palpatine wasn't enough.
I mean, what you don't realise how powerful Palpatine is. He can literally just create an army of ships out of nothing, and even just get all the people there. the entire Imperial army just there, even though none of them had wayfinders. None of them could possibly have found this secret place that no one could go to without these secret things. That you need a knife to be able to find the secret thing that's hidden in a place that might not
be destroyed Death Star.
Oh, the JJ
planet
that you didn't need, because clearly the millions of staff found their way there perfectly fine without the need for any.
There would have been a paper trail. I'm just saying, there would have been a paper trail.
No, but it's the thing. They were just sitting there. They had nothing to do, so they thought, right, let's just stay in this wormhole.
What's the elaborate way we can set this all up just to piss everyone off?
The longer it's been since I watched it, the more my brain goes, well, hang on a minute. And I think, well, that's really annoying.
That's the other thing. So this is what I'm talking about. Well-cast characters at the right times. Captain Phasma, the chrome-plated stormtrooper captain, that in the first film does stuff, gets shut in a bin. The second film falls into a big fiery hole in which he never comes back from.
What's the point of that character?
Strong and powerful woman.
I tell you what, the only scene I still fucking absolutely love is the one with Babu Frick in it, for all the wrong reasons. For all the wrong reasons.
Does the droid work, Harry? Yeah. Because I can face looking confused.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so you know when they have to do the thing. Yeah. The reason is because it's so funny, because it shouldn't be funny, and that just made me laugh so hard, because the whole point is this is C-3PO's big moment. This is like he's going to sacrifice himself. He's basically killing himself for the good of the team. You know, this is an old school, an OG character, been with us since the beginning, and he's going to go, right, I'm going to wipe my memory and wipe everything. And then he does it, and then and everyone's like, it's a solemn moment, and then Babu Frick's like, I just thought it's hilarious. It completely fucking spoiled the moment. Completely killed it. Ruined his big moment. The only moment C-3PO has in the entire franchise, and you fuced it up. I thought it was hilarious.
That, but he's great. He was like, I'm doing this for my friends, but they're all dead.
Like C-3PO, no one likes you. Sorry, but apparently it's true. Even the film creators didn't like you. They just put this stupid fucking little alien that was just drunk in the background and just fucked up your only scene that had any poignant meaning to it.
To be honest, I think most people don't like Anthony Daniels anyway.
Oh dear.
To be fair, there's only one moment in that entire film I liked, and it's only lasted about 3 seconds, and that's when you see Dennis Lawson on the guns in the Millennium Falcon killing stuff.
Oh yeah, I pointed that out. Yeah, Wedge is here. Look, he's
exactly.
Well, you know, he got finished. He got done doing Holby City, and then went back to his roots.
Yeah, he took one look at the script for like Force Awakens and Last Jedi, and was like, no, peace out, not doing either of those. And then it's like, yeah, shit, we really need to scrape the barrel here. It's like, yeah, how much are you going to pay me just to sit in like the Millennium Falcon and pretend that I care? That's the 5 seconds.
He's not even in charge. He's on a gun. He's on the gun on the Millennium Falcon. He's not even on the fucking flight deck. It's like, oh, come on, you've been relegated to fucking Luke.
Oh, and he's still better than everyone else in that film.
I mean, I have to say that you've got to be impressed with how bad they made everything. Like,
to be fair, Palpatine used the power of dubstep to destroy everything.
Imagine what George Lucas was thinking when he was watching that guy.
How could they have made it that bad?
They made $4 billion, but
that prick sold his soul a long time ago. Frankly, he made the prequels, so
yeah,
he gets no sympathy from me.
Well,
George, yeah, but it makes the prequels look really good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it makes
it really does
like
make the prequels
masterpieces.
I fucking love the prequels now. I've seen those 3 movies.
Yeah, but
they're so much better.
But was always kind of good anyway.
this is the whole thing. All this makes me really appreciate Mark Hamill's Luke Skywalker in the original trilogy.
Yeah.
He was the worst. I mean, honestly, he is the worst thing in the original Star Wars, but he isn't the worst thing in Star Wars.
No, he's not.
I gotta go to Tachi Station to get some power converters.
It almost makes Jar Jar Binks
glowing here.
Before we go any further, can I just say, Rob, your hair is impressive.
Yeah, I was thinking that it is proper Aragorn now, isn't it?
Now.
He's definitely looking like Space Jesus.
Sitting on the Boba Fett throne there with a space
sitting on his lap.
Oh yeah, Jack. Before you turned up, I had this as my background.
Do you really want to be sitting on his lap, though, Sean?
Well, You know, he couldn't have done much worse than that.
Well, to be fair, Rob's sitting on Boba Fett's lap, and that's
that's it.
I would though.
Well, no, he was sitting on your lap last time as well, Jack.
Yeah,
and a broken down toilet.
From somewhere we used to work, but we won't mention that.
But yeah, Katie Sackhoff is one of the Mandalorians. That was like,
I don't know who she is.
Bo-Katan.
Yeah, but I don't know who. You can say names. I don't know
Mandalorian, the female Mandalorian.
Yes, I know the character, but I'm saying like you called her by the name as if like her actual real name, Katie Sackhoff.
Katie Sackhoff. Yeah, she's been in Battlestar Galactica.
Has she?
Has she?
That's just a name.
Yeah.
It's in one of the Riddick films.
Yeah, well.
Pretty low bar, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, she does get her tits out though.
Oh, there we go. That's all right then.
He perks up. Oh yeah.
Oh, I might watch that.
Misogyny.
Films are okay because they're shit, but they're fun. I have watched them occasionally.
Well, the only good ones
don't need to make sense.
As far as I'm concerned.
What, Pitch Black?
Mm.
Yeah, the other two suck balls.
Yeah. The other two were a bit silly.
One doesn't suck balls because he's back on the planet again on his own.
Is that the one with Carl Urban in it? Is Carl Urban in them? Or am I thinking of something else?
Carl Urban's in the second one.
Yeah, that's what.
He's one of those necromongers.
Necromonger.
Sounds like a death metal album.
Necromonger.
Probably is.
For I monger necro.
Like an ironmonger, but for dead things.
Yeah. I speak about mungs.
I suppose it kind of works.
Started. Get the subtitles. Didn't turn them off.
Oh, have you sorted her out, Jack?
Oh, that is such a common occurrence in my house as well. It's
How do you turn off the subtitles? Well, are you not still on the app?
It turns it off.
Turn off the subtitles.
I am the technical support in my house.
Yeah.
The things that don't require technical support, in my opinion.
But to be honest, Rob, you're in a house full of ladies. You're in a house full of ladies. It's going to happen.
Yeah, we're talking. Getting back to talking about being an old man and hating things again, Rob.
Yeah. Well, I'm old now. I've been old for a long time.
Rob, what do you hate the most?
What?
What do you hate the most, Rob? Now you're an old man.
Oh, so many things. I was just saying to Sean before, even Harry turned up, like how much I hate things. Like how commonly, like, I mean, I've always been old. Even when I was like in JL back in the day, I was hating things. But now I just hate almost everything.
Absolutely despise things.
Everything around me and just like, fucking hate this. I hate that. I hate the youth. I really hate the youth.
It's because they're all cunts.
The youth of today are all, like, they're all fucking stupid. I hate them all.
Spanners, yeah.
It's like, they're nice up until they're at 4,
that's what
and then
all
they turn
old
into
people say.
assholes.
In every generation since the year like, fucking Roman day, it's always, but the youth are always stupid. Always in every generation. We were the youth once, and we were fucking spanners. It's always been the way. I don't know how. Is society just becoming more and more stupid, or is it just a cycle where you have to go through a stage of being idiots before you can grow up and become less idiotic? I don't know.
The trouble is, though, but those people are now growing up to be old idiots.
Yeah, but are they? That's the thing. Or are they growing up to be normal? Do they look back and go, I was such a twat when I was a young person?
Maybe they're just taking longer to grow up to be.
Yeah, but then I genuinely know some people in their 40s that are still twats.
They just have a louder voice, I think.
Or like nearly 50. You know what I mean?
Yeah, pushing for some of them pushing 50 and they're still twats.
We were probably the last generation of people that didn't have a particularly loud voice, when you could be a twat and the old people would say, shut the fuck up. And that'll be it. Whereas now it's like, no, you can't say that.
No, we're the last generation of like drunk people who'd come out with stupid shit, whatever you want, in the pub.
Yeah, and only 5 people.
They don't sit in the pub and talk shit. They talk shit on the internet. As in, I'm not talking shit like this in a blog, but I'm talking keyboard warrior.
First of all, Harry, how
they
did you
blurt out whatever fucking random shit, and then they'll either get a following of 1,000 or millions of people all going, I agree with you, and then 1,000 of people are, no, I don't agree with you. Oh, you should be cancelled.
I take full umbrage of everything Harry's just said, because this is not a blog.
No, it's a
vlog.
This is a cast.
Exactly.
It's a Ramblecast, don't you know?
Video vlogging. video info.
I love my
I still remember that vlog that you did years ago. You just put it up on your Awesome Bob channel. And I think it was the one that got you the most views out of it.
It was basically I'm going to do something soon, but I don't really haven't planned it. And then, like, why did that get you? That took me like 5 minutes, for fuck's sake.
Yeah,
hours I spend making these videos get 10 views.
Most views.
But that goes back to, like, that's why shit is popular, because it's just people just go, well, that's easy, I'll do that. And then you get shitter and shitter and shitter. And then the effort is gone.
That's why TikTok's killing everything.
Yeah. Mate, I was forced to download TikTok, and
why?
Fucking despite because
forced you to do that. Who put this gun to your head?
My 11-year-old daughter put the emotional gun to my head. I was on it for like 8 hours, like all night, the entire time, and I came off it at like 3 a.m. I'm like, well, that was boring.
That was shit.
How the fuck did I do that? I'm so tired, and I don't feel satisfied. Like, it's like eating flavourless popcorn. Every single, or like popcorn, which is almost nice. There's just not quite enough flavour on the popcorn, and everyone is like, I just need a little bit more because I'm not getting enough flavour. And then it's like you've eaten the whole thing. It's like I'm still not. It's not enough, and that's what TikTok is, and it's designed specifically for that purpose. Just very small, almost satisfying, but not quite. Constantly, all the time, and then it's like, wow, my day's gone. That was a waste of my fucking time. I know why you hate the new Doctor Who. She's amazing.
Well, that's because you're Jesus and you forgive everyone.
And I like the fact you can't keep a straight face while saying that. See, unfortunately, Rob, you've already told us what your opinion is, and it's like...
Yeah, but the stream doesn't know.
Yes, it does.
It depends.
Pretty sure.
Well, the stream doesn't know because we're not live.
Oh yeah, I love The Timeless Child. Oh, I love it. Oh, it's the best story ever.
It really opens up so many ideas and so many avenues for Doctor Who.
So empowering. So empowering.
Space for all, everybody.
Yeah, I think they should only put, all men just terrible. Get rid of them all. Kill them all. We're all wrong. We're all wrong-uns.
No.
We need to be upgraded.
And the ones that are in it are like clearly the villains and need to be like changed.
Was the Cybermen's plan entirely just to upgrade everyone?
Yeah, they're all women.
Apart from the fact they can't.
So it would be cyber women then. They tried that in shit episode,
which was also written by.
Oh, fucking hell!
Christian just made that connection as well.
Yeah.
I never got
an upgrade. That's what the Cybermen said.
It's kind of
that didn't go down too well.
Person who's not in full Cyberman kit yet. It's not actually a woman.
It just pisses me off. The whole thing about people being able to. I've said this in the worst videos we did, top 10 worst videos. The whole thing of the Cybermen and how people can override it just pisses me off anyway. Because it's like, no.
Oh,
why do you get to do
James Corden being able to use the power of love?
No, that's not at all. Just like he did it. Fucking Danny Pink did it. Fucking even the Cyber Greek. No.
I watched Attack of the Cybermen yesterday, and Lytton wasn't even able to do it.
No, exactly, and he's a good character.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Better than James Corden. How dare you? James Corden played Peter Rabbit in the recent movies. How dare you?
Peter Rabbit, let's go. Oh no.
The thing is, it's one of those. It's just. I'm not sure if I've ever really liked Doctor Who for that purpose. I mean, I really, really, really try, but it's too many plot holes and weird story writing that I think.
Unfortunately, it's basically a victim of its own success.
Yeah,
it's too long, and it's had so many different writers, so many iterations that some people can't help but fuck around with established things that have already been set in motion.
But it's almost impossible to do something for that long and keep it good and keep it.
Respectfully disagree. You can.
But if you think
about it, they did it from 1963 to 1989.
I was going to say. Well, if you think about it, right?
It's just 2005 to 2022 is an exception.
Yeah. And it's like, what other modern series do you know out there that last more than 5 seasons, let alone fucking 13? Not enough. But because it's the BBC, they feel like they can run roughshod over everything because, ratings don't really matter. Okay. Because
we make what we want to make.
People paid their TV license already. We don't need ratings.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem.
It doesn't matter if they watch our channel. They've already paid for it.
We'll spend £12 million on getting Gary Lineker to present football.
Oh.
And you go, hang on a minute, couldn't you just get someone who knows about football that can pay him a lot less?
Yeah. Just get fucking Andy Goldstein on there from TalkSport.
Someone's dad.
Yeah, some bloke from the pub.
Random guy from the pub. He'll do it. He knows about football. Oh, dear. I used to work with somebody who knew so much about football it made me sick. I could literally just ask him, like, okay, so who came fourth in the closest World Cup to 1974? And he would tell me. And he would tell me which team it was and who wasn't playing in them. I'm like, why do you know that? Why? Why do you know that?
Some people have specialist knowledge. I mean, why do I know that the Doctor got locked up 36 times in Frontier in Space? I don't know. That information's just there.
Yeah. It's
the level of detail you want to go into your specialist subjects, that's all.
Well, like how many times that fucking song in the Gunfighters is played. See, now, I had a question. I had that question. Oh, God. 35, I think I counted.
I don't think I know any subject specialist enough to go into that level. Like,
because you're
a level of
trades, but a master.
I am a jack of all trades, but a master of none. But that's because I just don't think that I want to be a master of anything. I'm quite happy to just know enough about most things.
You want to see the universe, not rule it.
Oh, with that hair, he could.
You were supposed to bring balance to the Force, not.
He fucking did, though.
Yeah, he killed all the Jedi down to
only having Jedi balance.
Yeah.
If you could not have turned a light off, how is that balance? You'd be blinded. It'd be light everywhere. You need to have darkness. It's balance. Light, dark, good, evil. It's balance.
Yeah.
If Jedi ruled everything, it's not fucking balance, is it? How did they not know that? How did Yoda, with all his wisdom, not fucking clock on? Maybe balance isn't what we want right now. Maybe we want imbalance. Maybe we want only good things, which is not balance.
Utopia, which doesn't exist.
Yeah, but the dark side works in mysterious, shrouded ways.
It does. No, it does. It's quite obvious, to be honest with you. It's much more obvious than anything I've ever seen.
It's a short. No. Just realise all that political machinations and maneuvering Naboo to be invaded by the Trade Federation just so that the Chancellor could get more power.
We have to understand.
Power, Harry. Unlimited power.
Unlimited power.
He didn't have unlimited power because he got killed in the end anyway. Darth Vader just chucked him down the chute.
Spoilers for Kenobi.
He didn't die though.
I felt really sad.
Well, yeah.
No.
He should have
died.
Jack, stop before you say anything else because Rob hasn't seen the final episode.
I haven't seen the final episode of Thing. No, so
What Kenobi?
Yeah, I'm behind.
What episodes have you seen?
All of them up to the last one.
I think so. What happened in the penultimate episode?
Oh God!
Darth Vader had a really cool fight with Reva.
Yep, seen that one.
Yeah, use the Force and shit.
Yeah, and there's like Reva's like. Shit.
Somehow
like, not even close. I like the fact that she wasn't even close to killing him. It's like he's just like fuck off the whole time. Basically how he fought doing. No.
There was a moment where I was really scared. I was really scared that they were going to make her like really amazing and like close, and there was thank fuck for that. Okay, that was probably the one saving grace.
It's not even close. Like don't even. No. It's just fucking Darth Vader. Don't even what. It's funny because you just think, well, I know you're not going to win the fight anyway because I know he doesn't die now. So whatever you do, he won't die. I thought maybe you'll injure him. No.
Why did he just snap her neck? Why leave her possibly to live
funny.
Like he did when she was a kid? Like,
Oh, just because he can.
All I'm going to say is it's very deliberate that Darth Vader was fucking with her the entire fight.
Oh yeah.
Just fucking with her.
Well,
he doesn't need to like dodge or do anything because he can just overpower her all the way through.
I fucking loved it. I absolutely loved
it. The ship behind the other ship, though.
Yeah,
that was a bit like. I'm not sure because when that flew up, you'd see the other one.
Yeah.
I mean, just because we've got the benefit of cinematography where the camera just turns up a little bit, you can't see the ship down here.
There's one there.
Maybe he'd sense all the life that was not on the ship that was flying away.
I think the point.
And why did you just bring that one down?
I think the point that they tried to make though is that because
Ice Cube, son.
Because he's so like
powerful.
He's very focused on his anger. He's like, I'm super powerful, but only at the thing I want to be powerful at the time. Like that's Obi-Wan's point. Like he focuses too much on winning the thing he wants to win, and he misses other things.
Opportunities.
Yeah, so that's kind of explained by that. He was so focused on getting Obi-Wan that he missed the trick.
She completely missed his opportunity. She should have attacked him when he was doing the ship.
Yeah.
And then you would have, to be fair, I still would have been a better scene if she'd interrupted him when the ship flew off, and he would have been like,
what do you want?
Oh, and then fucking proper fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The
whole scene would have played out in exactly the same way. You just wouldn't have had this stupid oh, look at this, another ship. Woo.
Yeah, that was a bit weird. that whole time, I'm like, okay, not sure by that.
What we're failing to understand is Kenobi as a TV show shouldn't actually exist because it's just basically wrong from the start.
Well, yeah.
It's kind of, you could do a Kenobi TV show, but the second when they're like, oh no, you've got to go save baby Leia, or even if it's like, oh, you've got to save baby Luke, wouldn't matter because it's just wrong.
We know you've done it.
Well,
you already know how it's going to end.
Them should be in peril.
I mean, it's like the second he left Tatooine, that's no. No, you wouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have done that. Fucking stay where you are. That's where you should be.
There is a way you could do
it. If I ship my idea that I originally thought the series was going to do, is that they go to him to kill Vader in a mission, and he still fails to do it. That's the only time I could think of him being drawn away, and it's like, look, we need you. You're the most powerful Jedi I know, and you bested him once, and now we know who he is. We're sure that you can beat him, and then they organise it so they are in the same place together, and again he fucking owns him again, but obviously walks away because he knows it's not his destiny. It's the whole Force. It's Luke has to, whatever.
But also,
that's the only way it would have made sense. This whole series doesn't make sense, and it also cheapens New Hope.
No, there's an
all
easier
the
way.
dialogue of New Hope where it's like
there's an easier way to do it without having to ruin New Hope, and basically, right. You know that random Jedi guy who turns up in the first episode who's like, just goes to Tatooine to find Obi-Wan Kenobi or whatever?
Yeah.
Right. He goes to Tatooine by accident because he's running away from Inquisitors, bumps into Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Obi-Wan Kenobi's like, fuck you, you bastard, now I've got to run because they've found me. If I don't leave, they'll find Luke.
Yeah.
Boom.
That makes more sense, yeah.
Obi-Wan Kenobi's now running in space, being chased by Inquisitors.
Throw a load of sand people in there as well.
When I saw that it was Obi-Wan, that was a new episode, I was a bit disappointed because, like, I don't care. Like, I don't care what happened to him. Like, give me a new character. Yeah. Like the Mandalorian. Like, give me something like that. Or one of the other Jedis that I've never heard of.
Cal Kestis.
Something I don't know about.
Give Cal Kestis in series.
I don't care what happened between then and there with this dude because it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Because he starts in Tatooine and he ends in Tatooine. So whatever the fuck happens.
It's the same as what he's in the same position anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, but it's not that interesting.
That's why I found it amusing. It was like the end of Revenge of the Sith again. This isn't spoilers, but things have to bend the way that they do.
Yeah.
For them to be reset back to where they are.
It doesn't really.
You get the whole of the end of the last episode of Kenobi. You're kind of going, well, I know what's going to happen because everything needs to be set back to where it should be, and you kind of get to the end of it. And you're like,
any episode where it's like he's in danger. Well, no, he's not.
Oh, he isn't.
I know he's not, and I know Leia's not going to die no matter what happens, and I know Ben's not going to die, and I know that Darth Vader's not going to die. I know these characters are not going to die, so there's no threat, there's no tension, there's no point even making it look like there's tension because I know they're fine. Because it's stupid, isn't it? Why even bother? Oh, he's trapped. How's he going to get out? I don't know, but he will.
But he will.
Guaranteed. I know for a fact he will.
It's Robert classic Doctor Who. So many cliffhangers. How's the Doctor going to get out of this one?
It just all goes back to the end of time. Where it's like this is the final battle at the end of the Doctor's life. No, it isn't. It's just this kind of.
We already know there's going to be another season.
We know Matt Smith. Matt Smith's been cast. Who gives a fuck? It's self-indulgence.
Oh dear.
Donna Noble's back for the special.
Yeah, I thought you'd be happy about that, Harry.
Of all the characters.
Oh god, the daughter's going to have Time Lord brain, isn't she?
It's going to have Time Head.
Well, apparently they've named her Rose. For some reason.
Yeah, they've race changed Rose because apparently that's cool now. Because Billy Piper's going to charge too much to come back.
Well, it's not the same character, but it's just a bit like, oh yeah, we got inspired, so we named our daughter Rose.
I can't. I'm sorry, I can't. It's too timey-wimey for me, Doctor Who. I can't deal with it. It's too many interconnection things, and my brain's just like.
Sense why they bring David back.
I just can't. With all the different characters that are all entwined, and then is this the Doctor's wife or is this the Doctor's daughter? Who fuck? No, I don't know. I don't know who's what. And then you've got the Rome. Is he a human now? I don't. There's just too many bits that my brain's just like. I don't get it.
It should just be individual stories about the Doctor and the companion travelling off and then coming back. No fucking stupid arcs. Just
the arc's got too
one
much.
Story to the next. Just
Yeah,
like
it's got too much. And then at the end of the day, they go reset button. Boop. All right. Okay. Does that mean anything I watched makes sense? Did any of that happen? Why did I watch any of that? Why did the Doctor Who turn into Dobby? I don't know. I just so many things. I really wanted to like Doctor Who. But I kind of struggle with it. I really do.
Okay, I want to break Rob's brain for a second here. Rob, what is your favourite time travel story in any medium?
I hate time travel stories, so it's hard because the way my brain works is like time travel. You can't write a good time travel story. You just can't. It's impossible. It is impossible.
Well, you can write a good time travel story. It's just difficult to make it make complete sense.
Yeah,
because time travel doesn't really exist.
No,
do you know what I mean?
it can't. It literally can't exist. It doesn't make.
You can only go one way. You can only go into the future. You can't go into the past.
In my opinion, the only way you can make time travel make sense is if you use the parallel dimension theory. That is, from the instantaneous time that you have appeared in the past, that is a different version.
Oh, what multiverse theory? Then?
So I can go back in time and I can kill my father before I'm born, and I'm fine because that's not my father. That's my alternate version's father.
Yeah.
Not a problem. I can do what the fuck I like, and it doesn't affect the present because this is not my present. This is somebody else's present. That makes sense. Any other you cannot make it make sense. There's far too many variables to any other version of time travel to make sense to our little monkey brains. We are three-dimensional beings. We are not four-dimensional.
The thing is, Dragon Ball Z's version of time travel is the most one that makes sense to you because that's what they do.
Then yes, I don't watch Dragon Ball Z, but if I did, that would be my favourite.
I just got Rob to admit he likes Dragon Ball Z more than any other time travel thing on camera. I'm happy. It gets too complicated. You can't, and then you've got fixed points in time, which make that doesn't make fucking sense. And then everything is just too convoluted, and then you fuck up somewhere, and then the whole thing's ruined because you fucked up one thing. You just can't. You can't follow it up. It's too difficult.
And then, if you meet your past self, then the universe will blow up.
Why? Why would it though? Because
I've seen Time Cop. They just touch and they just turn into jelly or something on the floor.
Why though? Like this is just like, but why? Like, explain to me why that would happen. Why that happened?
The fabric of reality will crack. What happens?
Time Cop was a shit movie.
I mean, the only time I've ever seen it done successfully is Harry Potter because they did it once. They did it once, and then they went, "That's it.
That's your time travel.
That's it. We're not going to fuck around anymore. That was hard enough as it was to do it once. And one time, I'm not going to explain how Hermione can be in every single class for the entire fucking year because...
You think her teachers would work out...
We can't explain it, so we won't. We just say it happened. That's that. Yeah, they did it once and they went, that's it. That's enough. Any more and it's going to get too complicated. And that's what they did. And that worked.
Otherwise, you write yourself into a corner.
You write yourself into a fucking black hole and you can't get out of it.
Time travel, and they don't use it when like the end of the world is coming in Harry Potter. But okay, whatever.
Just forget it. Just forget it. Don't worry about it. Nobody decided to go, oh, it's a time turner. Let's turn it back and kill Voldemort. Yeah, no one did that.
We'll just hand wave that one as,
could have
been better written.
Again, this is why time travel doesn't work, because you can't write it in any effective way. It's too difficult because you just keep going back in time and killing bad people before they become bad people, and then you become a utopian society. But
then
that doesn't work either. Nothing happens.
The exception to that rule, Rob.
It's good because every time you go back in time, somebody else does it as well. And then Terminator's like, it doesn't matter how many times you do it. It's just someone's going to keep fucking it up. So what's the point?
We're human beings
with better technology somehow.
Yeah, we're just going to fuck it up. We're going to send. They've got a Terminator. We've got to do.
The reason that it accelerates each time is that the better technology keeps being found earlier because of the time.
The story of Terminator is essentially saying this is inevitable. Like no matter what you do, this is going to happen.
Oh, because so it's a fixed point in time.
Yeah, but it isn't. It's a fixed event. It's not a fixed point in time because it doesn't happen at the same time. It happens at some point. And the point changes all the time, but it will happen. There will become a point where robots take over the world because that's the point. That's
the destiny.
This is what happens if you create technology and AI that advanced. It will eventually do this. No matter what you do, this will happen. You can try and stop it, but you can't.
Logic only works.
This is the only way that it can end.
Damn Google.
That's the story of that. I think that's the point of the like. If you look at it, it was built very much around. It was like written very much around the time, like the 80s and 90s and stuff, where technology went mental. Technology, it just went absolutely crazy, and they just went. Oh my god!
We only have to look at our lifetime.
Yeah,
like the amount of stuff. This is why we're the ones I think are going to be struggle the most because we've had so many changes of technology that it's really difficult to keep up with.
I mean,
more so than anybody else has lived.
In our lifetime, the internet was invented. In our lifetime.
Yep.
That's fucking crazy. Like that's like the biggest invention of all time. The most impactful.
And then being able to connect that to a small device.
Yeah, and now we have a smartphone, which I didn't have as a child.
Which has hundreds of times more.
It's more powerful than the fucking spaceship that got sent to the moon.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It's just so. And that's why. That's essentially the moral of Terminator is you're fucked. You're fucked. You're going to destroy yourselves, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can go back in time and change it, but you can't because this is the inevitable future. You're going to end up going down this road sooner or later.
To be fair, if Arnie comes walking up to me in leathers, I'm going to be running away regardless.
Or asking for an autograph.
But like I said, the time travel in that, if you work with the parallel universe theory, works. Because each time the Terminators go back, they change that set of events. Because you've got John Connor in the first film is born to Sarah Connor and whoever her father is, not Carl Reese. Then Terminator happens, and Carl Reese bangs Sarah Connor, creating a different John Connor. The original John Connor's lived his life, got killed off at the end, and then
leading the resistance.
Loop. So it's this sort of loop that keeps going back. But then, if you look at it as each one stacks on the next, so all the advancements that happen. So as the movies get further and further down the line, when you get to something like Salvation, he's like, everything I've been told doesn't match because everything has been advancing exponentially each time.
Yeah,
and it's the only one where you look through the course of all those movies, and they're not all of them are brilliant, but you can actually see that course of how the timeline.
That's how you do time travel. Is you essentially say it doesn't. It has an effect, but it doesn't have the same effect. You're not affecting the actual. You're creating a new version of events.
Unless it's a fully closed time loop.
No. Because
no,
if
Jack, just no.
If it was a fully closed time loop, Terminator doesn't work.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Yeah, I'm talking about time.
You're just going to watch the same film over and over and over again. Yeah. Essentially.
Well, no, if I'm talking about time travel in real life, you can only travel into the future. You can't
Carl always goes back in time, which means he's always John Connor's father.
The arrow of time.
But if it is a time loop, no, because watch Terminator 1.
He always goes back in
Terminator
time.
1 again.
He's always John Connor's father. It's a closed time loop.
It isn't.
No, it's not because
Terminator 2 happens and 3 happens. If it's a closed loop, it would just be one.
It's meant to be like a good excuse to have a robot killing people from the future.
Well, I'm interested because Terminator 1 and Terminator 2 could be a closed time loop. I'm not sure when it becomes broken, because in theory, Terminator 1 goes back to kill Sarah, fails, and then that leaves the dude that becomes the father of John Connor, and then Terminator 2 happens, and then he goes back to kill the son, who is John Connor. So that's still the same event.
The only problem with that is the advancement of the Terminator. Because Terminator 2, that Terminator is way more advanced.
Yeah.
And the only way that could happen is if you have the course of events, the change in the timeline, and then the acceleration of the Terminator.
Because this is where it becomes sort of interesting to think about. In the first place. Is we as human beings are limited by thinking about time in the way that it is in our reality. Like if you think about it, oh yeah, but Terminator 2 happened later, so why? Like I can go back in time 10 days, or I can go back in time 100 years. Like it makes no difference to my present. I can go back in time at any point in time. So just because Terminator 2 happened later on in the timeline, why is that more advanced than the one previous?
The liquid Terminator is more
why
advanced
is the liquid Terminator? Why has more time elapsed since the time of Terminator 1's Terminator went back in time to the time of Terminator 2's Terminator?
I'm saying the same amount of time has elapsed, but the technology.
So that's where you're right.
Because
that's what proves it's not a time loop. Because if they always say that they always send the Terminator back in the same approximate year, then because why would they go, oh, this Terminator didn't work, we'll send the next Terminator like 50 years time when we got more technology? No, that doesn't make any sense. Why won't they just keep sending the same Terminator back over and over again every single hour? Just keep sending it back.
Because the movie came out 6 years later.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We're limited by the way we think, oh, 6 years later, there'll be a better Terminator. No, it's the same future. It's the same one. So it will be the same Terminator. Why is it advanced? And that's where Harry's concept of, because now the future's changed because the past is not the same now. Yeah. But therefore it can't be the same past because otherwise they would have just sent the liquid Terminator in the first place.
Yeah.
So it's a different future, which means it's not a time loop. It's a different reality than the original one.
So the sets of events of how they create the Terminators and how they progress effectively accelerates each time.
Exactly. It's like if you get to do the same thing every single time, you get better at it. It's like if you save a game and then fail and then you go back to your load, you'll be better at the next time. It's a different reality. It's not
unless you leave it a really long time and forget how to play the game.
It's like from the NPC's perspective, it's amazing every time.
You end up with a Terminator made out of concrete that comes along like, oh yeah, shit, sorry, we forgot what we were doing.
From our perspective, we're seeing every single event, but from the reality, they only see the last event.
Yes.
The flaw in that entire argument is you'd send like 20 Terminators back to like the 1810s or whatever, because they can then go and invent microchips and build Skynet from scratch after they've wiped out all of humanity.
That's a fucking point.
Who in the 1810s is going to be able to fight a Terminator?
That would be so much more effective. Just send it back to the Stone Age. Before humans even existed.
Maybe it's because they can only send it back to the ground zero event, which was the Sarah Connor and John Connor's birth, perhaps. And then before then, they were trying to. Or you're saying they want to go back in time to like the beginning of her family bloodline or something. Because
here's my bullshit way of being able to get around that is that if you're inventing time travel, surely traveling back further and further in time costs more and more power. And a lot of things in science is usually exponential. So by the time I want to send 20 Terminators and go back 200 years, it's going to be like, we don't have that power capacity to do that. We just have about enough to get one because we're being attacked by the rebels and they're about to destroy Skynet.
By the fact they've sent, 5 Terminators back now to random points in John Connor's life.
But then also you could argue...
John Connor himself is a Terminator. Plan.
But then you could also argue that it's a similar kind of thing to the Hitler thing of, you kill baby Hitler, but then there'll be someone just like him who will end up becoming so then there'll always be someone.
There will always be a John Connor.
There'll always
World War II happens like 10 years later, but against the Russians. It's fine. We learned that.
Oh dear. But the sad thing about it, and this is another thing is about time travel, is that we know in reality that the version of time travel that affects our current reality doesn't exist and can't, because it would have happened. Because if one day we invent time travel, we would know already, because we would have evidence of us having invented it in the future.
How do you know we haven't already?
Because we would know.
How would you
there
know?
Would be some evidence that's, other than the bullshit morons that go on fucking radio going, I'm from the future. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, there would be some compelling evidence to prove that yes, at some point in the future, we have invented time travel to go back in time. But that hasn't happened, which means it never will happen. And it can't happen because it would have already happened.
20-year-old in a lab somewhere because they won't let him go back in time because they know he'll talk to you.
Yeah, I would go back in time to myself just for fucking shits and giggles. So the only version of time travel that can exist in the real world is one where it affects an alternate dimension or an alternate version of events, in which case we would never experience it in our lifetime, but a version of us would in another reality.
And you would just cease to exist at the point in which you left in the time machine.
Yeah. In that reality, unless I came back to it, which I can't do.
I quite like the idea.
Well, you could come back after.
Maybe I'd come back like an elastic band straight to that point in time, in which case the other reality I just disappear from, and that's tough shit.
Momentarily you just appear and disappear.
Shimmer!
Oh yeah, I went back to 1980. It was brilliant.
It's a bit like the way I try to think of it is like this. Imagine if you're a two-dimensional being on a piece of paper. You are unable to even see 3 dimensions. If I was to place something on that piece of paper, that thing would suddenly appear. And then when I removed it, it would disappear. Because it would only see the single plane of that object. You wouldn't be able to see the whole 3-dimensional shape of that object. And that's like time. We can only see it in this single dimension that we live in.
That's what.
And anything else doesn't make sense to us,
wasn't it? The Peter Capaldi one, the Flatline, where they're like 2-dimensional beings, and they need like the power of the TARDIS to become like 3-dimensional and stuff like that. So I thought that was kind of along the lines that you're talking of. I thought, okay, that's it's an interesting.
Yeah, we are 3-dimensional beings that exist in a 4-dimensional state. Yeah. As in, we exist within time, but we cannot perceive time outside. Of our very simple viewpoint of it goes in that direction at a steady pace.
Yeah,
that's it. We can't go back. We can go forwards at varying speeds, but that's all we can do.
Yeah,
but maybe it simply isn't possible to go backwards in time. It just isn't literally scientifically possible in any way ever. That's that.
You need to have power like faster than light, and we just can't. It's just impossible.
We can't. No, that you just go forwards at a slower speed.
Yeah,
that's it. You can't go back. You can only go forward slower. It's
the arrow of time.
Reverse entropy. I read once, and I don't know how true this is because I don't know the sources, but they did invent a time machine that can send light into the future. Yeah. Well, how fucking useless is that?
Yeah,
right. Well done. Can you prove it works? No.
Time travel is real.
So
what's the point?
What's the point?
It's for people. I
might be able to send something into the future, maybe. I don't know.
Well, hang on a minute. Isn't that just basically what a star is?
Basically, that's what light does. That's what everything does. Everything goes into the future. I don't fucking know. It's all stupid.
But the idea that the whole UFO sighting thing is like people from the future coming back, and even though it still doesn't make sense, but it's like, oh, okay, that could be quite an interesting concept. But we're just looking at ourselves and going, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, I think I don't want to say that UFOs are real because that's going to sound a bit too stupid. But at the same time, it's kind of the whole Area 51 thing is a little bit too coincidental to the point where it's like, I think something's definitely going on there. Whether it's aliens or not, I don't know.
I think UFOs are real, but it's what's piloting them. That's the question. It's like, is it us? Is it the government? Or is it aliens?
It's hard to say. I think ultimately, do extraterrestrials exist? Almost certainly, yes. But again, it comes back to the time. When do they exist? Is really what we need to question. Do they exist right now? Maybe. I mean, we haven't existed for very long.
No.
Maybe entire civilizations have come and gone many times before we even existed. Maybe they will in the future. Do they exist now? Do they exist anywhere near us? Maybe.
I would say they probably do exist, but not in this galaxy.
The energy that you would need to harness to be able to reach us is insane.
Yeah.
As much as I love the concept of Star Trek and all the other sci-fi series where you're like interplanetary, it's highly unreasonable to think that anyone would spend that amount of energy to be able to do that. You would need to harness the power of a sun, an entire sun, to be able to do that.
The sun, the palm of my hand.
Infinite, unlimited power. But I'm quite looking forward to that new telescope they've launched.
Oh yeah, was that? Is it like
might find it? Maybe they're going to start pointing it at things, and they might be able to find evidence. Harry, what the fuck?
Harry's just disappeared into his chair. By the way, for the viewers who can't actually see what's going on, our background is an airplane, and we're really tiny heads and chairs.
Oh, I've turned that shit off. That was pissing me off.
I've changed it back to grid.
Oh, how do you turn it off? I turn it off.
I look at view, and then I just put grid view, because together mode was annoying me.
Oh, yeah, that's better. Thank fuck for that. Yeah, Harry, we can only see your forehead now.
Oh, dear. Yeah, I'm hoping that with that fancy pants new telescope, they can point it at some planets and see if there's anything there. I think they're going to point it at that one Alpha Centauri, that planet that orbits Alpha Centauri, I think it is, or that close star. But and see if there's any unnatural lights.
Proxima Centauri or
Proxima Centauri? Yeah, that's the one. Like, see if there's any unnatural lights on the planet. But again,
Dyson sphere.
Yeah, what we fail to realise is, why would they have lights the way that we would perceive lights? Why would they need lights?
Yeah,
maybe they don't.
That's the thing. Like we're always perceiving aliens in a humanoid capacity, but they probably not.
Yeah, I was watching this thing about this saying, well, this particular planet is in the Goldilocks zone. It's perfect for life. However, it's phase locked. So half of the planet is always facing the sun, and half of the planet is always facing away. Which means any life we'd find would have lights on the dark side. Why? They were born and evolved in darkness. Why would they need light? They wouldn't. They wouldn't have eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
They'd have no purpose for eyes. They wouldn't need sight. So there would be no light. We wouldn't see any light.
Well,
why would they make lights?
Have you seen the Have you seen A Quiet Place?
No.
So that's it's pretty good. It's basically pretty much the concept that you're talking about, is that the aliens in that haven't got eyes, but their hearing is like amazing to the point where they almost hunted down every human in civilization because.
Oh no, I have. Yeah. I have seen it. Yeah.
That's basically it. They just evolved from a meteorite that had no light, and then just decided to hunt and kill because that's what they do to survive. Yeah, but they don't have eyes. They just have really, really fucking good hearing.
Yeah. And that's like, it's hard to sort of get your head around this concept that life outside. I do think it's highly likely that life exists outside this planet, just because if it exists on this planet, it's logical it will exist everywhere. Because why not? It's obviously an effective manner of energy transfer. Energy needs to go from one
something to something
into chaos, and life is obviously a really effective way of doing that. So it would evolve everywhere.
Made a good point.
Wherever it can, it will evolve. There's no reason why it wouldn't. I know it's highly unlikely to evolve, but it's where it can, it will. The
elements that were needed to create not only just life but intelligent life happened at such an opportune moment and such a fortunate moment, because you had all these different outside effects that were helping. It wasn't just the fact that we were made. Like you had like Jupiter's gravity making sure that we weren't being completely destroyed by fucking meteors.
Well, this is the thing. What you've got to realise is there are an almost unlimited amount of planets out there. There is 100% a lot of planets that exist like Earth.
Yeah.
Earth-like planets. They exist. Are they common? No, but they do exist. And I do think that 100% Earth or Earth-like planets will harbour life. And I think also life will become intelligent, purely because it is the most effective way of destroying itself.
Yeah.
And that's what the purpose is. All energy needs to go back to chaos. It's entropy. That's the way the universe wants to exist. It wants to exist in chaos. And life is very effective at making chaos occur. So,
very much so.
Intelligent life is bloody brilliant at it. We use up energy that's been stored away really quickly. We love doing it.
To the point where it runs out.
We don't live in balance.
Why does it run out?
Yeah, the universe doesn't want us to live in balance. The universe wants us to become chaos and destroy everything. That's what it wants to do. So I think intelligent life will exist, and it will destroy all energy, consume as much as possible to try to use all the energy as it can. That's just the way it will always exist. We are the universe's way of cleansing itself of order.
Rob Davros has spoken.
Normal. It's fine.
Actually, Rob does look a bit like Davros if you shave the hair off.
Basically, the key feature of me, just get rid of it, and then I'll look like Davros. Yeah.
You look like someone completely different.
Funny that.
Hang on a minute, he hasn't got a third eye from what
Yeah.
I can tell.
No,
It's fine. Don't mention that. It's fine.
No, he's hiding it. Like,
Rob's only he's a science lab away from being a supervillain with a third eye. It's going to be fine.
actually, no, he's more like that. Speech was very Thanos-like.
Well, we all know that there's no intelligent life in the 8 galaxies.
Yeah.
We've done established scientific fact there are more than 8 galaxies.
Yes. I think he might be wrong about that.
I'm going to be super posh now. I'm putting Pepsi Max into a wine glass.
Hey, I think I told you, Robbie.
I don't have a wine glass. I have this. All my glass.
That makes you an uncouth heathen.
Yes.
With all your
You just
hair.
have the heathen hair now.
This is my wine in a non-wine glass.
And
That's
Harry's
all the wine,
doing his
that's all
own
the alcohol I have left in the house. I'm pretty proud
Harry's
about
just trying to stay awake at this point.
Yeah, so Harry, how are
Look at that
Never
face.
succeed.
national rail strikes for you?
How scary is that?
How are the rail strikes for me? I don't get on the train, so I just get the bus.
Yeah, but how did it affect the buses?
No, it took 2 hours to get to work for the last 3 years. Oh.
He's just thinking, what a bollocks.
That is what you'll get.
Yeah.
That is the extent of that conversation.
2 or 3 days.
Let's talk about the trains and fucking. I don't know.
We don't want
Please
to talk
don't.
about real life on this channel.
I didn't join this to talk about the travel. What do you think I am, British?
The
Complain
weather.
about
We're going to be
things.
talking about the weather next.
Oh,
Oh
isn't
god,
that
it's been so hot.
And Formula One.
And Wimbledon tennis, which is back next week. Woo!
No,
Oh, God.
Yeah.
don't do small talk. Can't handle it.
No, we have to talk about universal chaos, right? Within the next minutes. Otherwise, it just
Why I
doesn't.
don't have any friends.
Oh, we're all here, Rob.
My conversation, my
It's very
light-hearted
right, Rob.
conversational topics are about the meaning of life and death.
And how they
Can't
work
talk about
their way
the weather.
into
Don't give a
favourite-
shit.
How they
It's
work
hot.
their way to
Yes,
our favourite
it's
TV
summer.
shows and movies. And how they're all wrong about it.
Okay, fine. You want to talk about movies? Doctor Strange 2. Has anyone seen that yet?
No.
I've seen it.
I've seen it too.
Okay, you and Jack can
I
talk.
thought it was quite all right.
Serious
Oh,
silence.
I thought Sam was really good.
Those.
It's basically Army of Darkness 2. So Evil Dead 4. It's like that's basically what it is, but with wizards.
I heard it's basically like WandaVision, but just the film of it.
It's,
But I need to watch
I
it
mean,
myself.
guys, who do you think from watching the trailer, who do you think the villain is?
I can't remember watching the trailer.
Baron, what's his name?
Baron Mordo.
Yeah.
Baron
Wrong.
Samedi.
Doctor Strange himself.
Who do you-
No,
from looking
Wanda.
at the
There we go.
trailer, guessing
Wanda.
who the villain is.
Wanda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's only because you've seen like internet videos, Sean.
No, I've seen the trailer and I've seen internet videos.
I
But no,
didn't
that'd
expect
be
it.
wrong.
I didn't actually expect it to be her, and then I was like, "Oh, actually, no, it makes perfect sense."
Yeah,
Well, I mean, she should be a villain, really, shouldn't she? Let's face it.
but she's supposed to be a villain in the comics, so it's kind of
Yeah.
like it makes she's a villain in the movies.
I don't really
Eventually.
want to sympathise with the fact that she enslaved a fucking town and then didn't really feel bad about it.
Why should
No.
you?
Yeah,
Very
exactly.
useful.
Because strong, empowered woman. Don't need to.
It's okay. Robin saves towns all the time. It's
I
fine.
would if I could.
He's doing it right now.
Man who walks too fast may step in bear trap.
Now,
Lee Sencheng.
Hey.
Oh, see, I would have got that one right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I bet that question's not in there.
Yeah,
I can think of a load of questions that probably aren't going to be in that fucking book.
no. If it's like, okay, what episode? Name the episode that this happened in. Oh, I could do that, but no. Name the episode.
Name an episode of
Name the
anything
thing
ever.
that happened in the episode 3 parts in. Oh, fuck.
I couldn't name any episode of anything I've ever watched in my life.
An
I don't
episode
know
name?
any episode names of anything.
What do you mean you don't
Not
know
even-
episode
not
names of
even-
anything?
I don't
Rob, not even
care.
Not even your favourite Doctor Who episode, The Last of the Time Lords.
I don't know what they're fucking called. I just relate to them as the one where that thing happened.
Well, like The Sound of Drums, The Last of the Time Lords.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called.
So Rob, you don't know what the first episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi's called?
Is it called Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Yeah, but what's the episode called?
Part 1.
Episode 1.
That's literally
Yeah,
what
there
it is.
you go. Part 1, there you go.
It's just like the first one. The third
What's
one.
the second episode called?
I don't call them by names. It's weird.
Even the ones that are like actually named.
Yeah, it's relevant. It's not important to me. That's what I mean. Like my knowledge doesn't encompass that level. It encompasses like interesting theoretical facts and knowledge, and I like to theorize and understand the lore. And episode names are irrelevant to me.
Yeah,
not important information. Doesn't mean anything to my brain.
Just dribbled it out of existence.
That's what I mean when I say
looking,
like specialist subject knowledge. Like specialist subject knowledge gets to the point where I'm like, well, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Oh, he's looking at the
book.
It's your time to shine, Rob. Here we go.
It's time to show what random Doctor Who knowledge. I would know nothing. It's hardly my time to shine.
Probably do better than that. If it was William Hartnell, you'd do well on that.
If I could answer a single fucking answer in that book, I'd be impressed.
Harry, quickly find.
All right, here we go. This is the Cybermen round.
Okay, go for it.
How were the first Cybermen created?
With a robot machine thing. I don't fucking know.
They were humans, or humanoids augmented with machines.
I mean, that's a really vague question. How were they created? I don't know. With a machine.
How were Cybermen created?
With a machine.
They were humans who were augmented with machine parts.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
How were they augmented with machine parts?
Well, they had bits cut from machine.
What does that question even mean? That's really unspecific.
More specific. Name the 2 planets of the Cybermen.
See, that is a question that has an answer that I could make sense of. I don't know.
What was that? What was the question?
But there is an answer to it.
Cybermen.
I feel like I know one of them, but I can't remember it.
Tobias Bourne hoped to use the power of the Cybermen to conquer the world. How did he then hope to destroy them?
With lasers.
No.
With the power of love.
Gold.
Tobias Bourne, how did he intend to destroy the Cybermen?
Oh, that's an invasion.
Cyberman.
Yeah.
What was the answer?
Oh, he used a directional emotional beam to
use their own technology. They use their own technology.
Did I not say lasers and the power of love? Is that not basically that?
That's new series.
No.
An emotional beam? Is that not a laser,
laser beam?
You said
What's
laser beam, not love beam.
Hey, I said lasers and
What's
the
a
power of
Cyberman?
love.
A really stupid scour pad with eyes on it. Oh no, that's not technically the answer.
What?
That's what it looks like.
What is a Cybermat?
It's a little worm thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Cyberman, who was originally called Matt.
Hey up, man.
What was the planet of gold and its important role? What important role did it play in the Great Cyber War?
What did what?
Voga.
What was the planet of gold?
Voga.
And what important role did it play in the Great Cyber War?
It was made of gold, so it was really valuable.
Gold was proved to be fatal to the Cybermen.
It was
It's
cool.
where they make weapons to kill Cybermen, because gold kills Cybermen.
See, you guys are doing all right. You know? give you a specialist subject round, and it's really easy.
When you say you guys,
but this random shit round, it's not good.
Yeah, no, I give you a fucking random Doctor Who round, and that's just like, what the fuck is that?
How many men did Sean have in his group?
Writing the scores in the doors. We're gonna just do this another time.
No, we can do it properly another time.
We'll do it probably another time.
I just wanted to see. Okay, there we go. This is some real ambiguous stuff here. Who was the Time Monster?
Who?
Oh, it was
Simon.
Who was the Simon? That's what it says.
Peter.
Oh, what's his name? It was
Peter McCarthy.
It was about Atlantis. I can't remember the.
It was
name.
about Atlantis. Sean, you are right. Yeah, it was about Atlantis.
Namor.
No.
King Trident.
I can't remember his fucking name, but it was
Simon.
the one.
Brian.
Kronos.
Time, yeah, Kronos.
He's the Titan of Time. He's got nothing to do with bloody Atlantis.
Well, the only good bit about that story was when the Master was fucking with the Doctor, like making him speak.
Oh, you made him talk backwards.
Yeah. Oh, what a confounded.
Yeah, some of them are just like, I read them and go, what the fuck?
He's like, let me just look at that answer.
Yeah.
No. I'm just flicking in random pages now.
Oh dear.
Is there enough? Because you said there was like first part of the Daleks. I'm sure there must be more questions about the Daleks.
Oh, you mean there is a Daleks, like the way that it's structured is there's a.
Harry Sealing. Yeah.
So I had to move out of the way so I could read. It's Dalek stroke 1, so there is a Dalek stroke 2 somewhere. I'll just have to keep searching until.
Tell you what, Rob, what do you know more about? Star Trek, Star Wars, or Doctor Who?
Well, Doctor Who will be the bottom of the list.
Okay, there we go. Here we go.
I think based on the amount of content,
round?
it'll probably be a percentage will be Star Wars purely because there's less Star Wars than Star Trek. I'm not saying I know a lot about Star Wars.
There isn't.
Because I don't know a lot about anything, but there's a hell of a lot more Star Trek in total than there is about Star Wars.
So what, I'm gonna think of a couple of questions for you, just limiting myself to the movies.
Oh, we failed that as
That's
well.
the thing. If we did a Star Wars quiz, I'd literally.
What was the fourth line?
Yeah.
No, we're not going that specific.
One of the guys in the room that Darth Vader was in at one point said.
Well, I
apology accepted, Captain.
Neither, but
yeah.
whatever.
We decided to come out of Lightspeed just outside the system.
That's Admiral Oswald.
Who was?
I don't. You mean Michael Sheard? One of the many faces of Michael Sheard.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. Dies. Yeah, I could be a dick and be like, "Hey, Rob, what's the call sign of the stormtrooper guarding the Millennium Falcon on the Death Star?"
I don't know.
TK-421.
Okay, cool.
It is said in the movie, but
Oh yeah, there we go. See, there are some really cool questions on here, but that is so obscure.
Go on.
How did the Daleks lose their war with the Venusian colonies in the space year 17,000?
Because
they were so small they couldn't
lose
see
their
them.
wars because they're shit.
The Venusian
they
colonies.
Count in time units that make no sense.
They call them rels when they're seconds, and that's confused everybody, so no one knows what's going on. And the Venusians, because they're so small, they're like burrower size, so they climbed inside the Daleks. And
rels was only time related in the new series, but it was something else in classic. It was more like space. It was like sort of a space travel kind of light count thing.
Well, if you can remember what that line is from, because it's not an episode, it's not a story. So it's a throwaway line. It's what that is.
Yeah, because I was thinking the Venusians. I can't think of any episode where there's been Venusians.
But if you can remember an episode in which the Doctor talks about lots of different Dalek defeats.
That'd be what?
Genesis of the Daleks. It's a line from Genesis of the Daleks. He's talking to Davros.
He's talking to Davros, telling him how the Daleks lost every single time. And it's like,
and he goes, and he's talking about in the space year 17,000, the Venusian colonies defeated the Daleks by blah, 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 blah. And he reels off loads of different things.
Using
that's mad. That's just such a fucking randomly obscure question. You'd have to really remember what that scene, what he even said.
The exact dialogue in that scene.
My answer is going to be they used the magnetic poles of a planet to kill Daleks.
Fair enough. Sean?
What did he say? How did they kill him? How did the
Daleks lose their war with the Venusian colonies in the space year 17,000?
No idea.
Rob?
Stairs.
Okay. My guess, this is before I even looked at it, I think they used weaponry that was impervious to Dalek firepower.
Well, that's a bit cheating.
War of attrition. Not war of attrition. That was.
Well, that is cheating, but I mean, I didn't look at the answers before I gave that guess, but I think that is the answer. But
yeah, you think that's the answer. Now you've got the book in front of you. Yeah,
but I didn't look at the answer. I haven't even looked at it. Why would I be bothering to read this far into the book?
Look, I'm Harry. I'm so asleep right now. Flick, 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 flick. Page answer. It's all good.
That why we're looking
at the intervention of a fleet of rockets from the planet Hyperon.
There you go. So we're all wrong. Who would have guessed?
The final bit that they don't say there is that we're impervious to Dalek firepower.
I'm sorry, it's not in the book, so don't count.
Therefore, the answer's wrong.
Damn you, Chris Chibnall face.
It also doesn't mention the amount of stairs that they built. So,
Genesis of the Daleks.
See, the Daleks could have stopped those missiles from Hyperion if there weren't stairs and magnets involved.
Exactly.
Just saying.
Their defense mechanism was built up a hill, and they couldn't get there. So, uneven ground. They were fucked.
Can Daleks go up hills? Because hills aren't level.
Yes, they can.
Well, that would depend on how bumpy the hill is.
What if the hill's like really steep incline? It's like the Lake District where the hills are like 45 degrees in some places. Could a Dalek go up that?
Yeah.
I don't believe you. I want to see it in an episode. On an episode of Dalek.
Well, in the modern Doctor Who series, it doesn't fucking matter because they can fly, and that's just boring.
That's just cheating.
Yeah, I mean, it makes more sense because it's hard to believe that an alien race which literally can't even change their elevation could possibly be a threat to the world. But
I just want to see some Daleks in the Lake District going on walks.
They can't even just walk into the woods. They're fucked. They can't get there. The wheels will just get stuck in the mud. They're screwed. That's it.
Yeah.
Immobile
thing. We are going on a
elevate. Oh, okay. So whatever then.
I want gingerbread.
Well, technically, they could go upstairs in remembrance of the Daleks. So they did that before the new series, but it was just
how? It took like 10 hours. It took like fucking ages.
It took them ages in the episode as well. It's like the cliffhanger, and it's 5 minutes to go up the stairs.
Yeah, it took a while.
Yeah, like how could that species possibly conquer anything? Just build really difficult to maneuver around areas and just fight in really rough terrain.
And also, why would you build?
And it would take them ages to move anywhere.
Why would you build a casing in that shape?
That's why.
Just make it really
casing for smooth, perfect floors, which exist everywhere.
Big.
Did not think this through.
It's because Davros is in the wheelchair. He thought everyone else should be like him, which is why he.
Yeah, that's basically what it was. Yeah.
That's why he started his war of genocide against the whole universe. Everyone needs to be in like wheelchairs like him.
That's why half of them turned on him because they were like, "Hang on a minute, you can't."
This is really an effective motion.
Yeah. Why didn't they invent a Dalek with legs? Because it's like they had so many generations of Daleks after Davros made them.
Or at least like a tank track.
Yeah.
Jesus, at least give it some level of mobility over uneven ground. I mean, it has no clearance.
And it's like, what is it? It's like Krang from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. His little brain in the stomach of the robot. You could have a Dalek in the stomach of a robot suit. That'd be brilliant.
Krang.
I've never. I mean, this is another thing with Doctor Who is I've never really been scared of the villains because they're just shit.
I'm scared of Jodie.
The early Cybermen were fucking weird and scary.
But they're just slow and awkward, and I'm like.
Yeah, but that's what was kind of like weird about them is like, oh, they just creep around and grab you, and then.
But the only reason why they work is because in Doctor Who, the things that are slow and awkward just catch up to you. But in reality, they wouldn't.
Yeah, well, it's the whole kind
They're
of
running away from this incredibly slow-moving thing, and then the next scene it's there. It's like, no, how?
it's a
200 fucking miles away.
Like,
it's so slow. There's no way it would catch up with you.
It's unlike things like the Autons, which run.
Yeah. Or the Rastorian robot, which is really.
It's when they try to scare you with what you think is something really horrible, and in logic it would be horrible. It's like I think it's Claws of the Axos. It's got like, oh my god, that person's been turned into a blob that's going to try and eat people. But it's just a guy under a tie-dyed sheet lying on the floor, rolling around.
Lots of
and it's like, and it's like No, it's meant to be a blob that's going to eat you. No, it's a bloke under a sheet.
Walk away.
It's starting its digestion cycle. It's going to start eating.
Turn away and go, nah, I'm fine.
It's very slowly rolling towards me, and I'm pretty sure if I kicked it...
Get away from the bubble wrap.
I mean, okay, so I'd like to say that it's because it was old.
Rob looks like he's despairing right now. He's really trying. He's really trying.
I am. I don't want to hate on it because I know how much you love it, and it isn't shit.
All right. You can hate it if you want. It's fine.
It is.
It isn't shit. It's just I'm overcritical. I'm overcritical. I'm overcritical on everything, even things I love. I'm overcritical. It's just the way I am.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I'm even overcritical on that, but that's hard because it's so fucking good.
Well, this Rings of Power does look.
No, don't even. No, not even. It doesn't exist.
Here we go.
I refuse. I'm not even engaging in it.
No one cares about Rings of Power. But how could you criticise Lord of the Rings? And beyond the obvious when the Eagles carry on in one.
Tom Bombadil not
it's
being
hard. There. It's fucking difficult.
Look, Gandalf tells them to fly, you fools, and they don't listen. So
that could be interpreted in several ways. Yeah.
I mean, are you referring to the movies or the books?
Either.
Both.
Okay, the books I can't. I mean,
okay,
very minor niggles.
Films only. Make it easy for you. Films only.
Well, the books are great, but there are lots of things. There are lots of pages of them just walking. You know what I mean?
Well, that's because that's what happened.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's very.
The only criticism I have of Tolkien is that he does like to describe things a little bit too much.
Yeah.
But he is a linguist.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
That's what he likes to do.
And he loves
it's
trees.
A bit boring sometimes. I don't need to know that much about the tree. I'm sure it's a lovely tree, but do I need a whole paragraph about the tree? Not sure.
It's just one tree among many.
I mean, I'm trying to read The Hobbit to Annie at the moment, which is difficult because she doesn't really like it that much.
Attention.
But I just read a whole paragraph that described a whole chapter actually that described just the long lake.
Yeah.
And it's so fucking boring. And I'm like, this is so. I'm getting bored just reading it, describing a lake and a mountain, and it's just like this is dull.
He loved
it. Dude,
yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's nice. It's well written, but
it's homely.
But it's the story. Get on.
Drive it forward a little bit.
It's a lovely lake. Don't need it to that much detail though. Don't really need that much description about the lake.
That's why they invented the films, mate. You don't have to read Hobbit anymore.
No, the films are awful.
You could just listen to it instead. You don't even have to read it.
I hate the films.
No, you don't. You love the films, and Harry agrees with you.
With his upside down face.
Turns into fucking Dynasty Warriors at some point and fucking does a Musu power move and kills all the orcs with his fucking arms out of a barrel. What the fuck off?
Yeah.
What? It's just why?
And why was Turiel even there?
Why was anything happening?
Why
I think it's very simple. So the film could happen.
Because of money.
Yeah.
Why did you film it in a way that gave me a headache by watching it? Like literally gave me a headache watching it.
Yeah,
with its
120k
frames a second.
Gave me a headache. Like,
fucking computer game.
Frames a second.
Fucking hated it.
It was like Shadow of Mordor, but not as good.
Yeah, I was
really like that game.
I was let down by The Hobbit. This is why I'm not watching the new Lord of the Rings series. It doesn't exist.
Well, they're basing it on like 5 pages of the appendices.
On nothing.
You don't even have the rights to the fucking second age.
I refuse to watch it.
How?
It doesn't exist.
They have the rights to The Hobbit now.
Oh no!
I'm not watching anything.
Well,
I am a huge fan of the book. Like I'm a huge Tolkien fan, especially of the book, and I've read a lot into like the backstories and the histories and the lore, and I do love the Middle Earth stuff. What stops me is I suddenly realise it doesn't matter.
This is good. You can see it.
No,
Unfinished Tales is quite good.
I do. I need to read that. I haven't.
Good. I haven't finished it. Hey, because it's unfinished.
It's unfinished. I'm going to be so disappointed because it's no ending.
It's going to be finished. Yeah.
It's got no beginning.
Or end.
But that's why the Silmarillion's so fucking difficult because it's just like all description.
It's basically
all description.
It's the Bible of Middle-earth, isn't it? It's like
it's just
in the beginning there was a god.
Just an entire fucking Bible of fluff.
Yeah. It's if you want one that's interesting, you wouldn't put Beren and Luthien. I can't remember which one that's in.
That's Silmarillion. Yeah.
That the story of Beren and Luthien is actually quite cool, and I don't know, is that in Silmarillion or is that his own book?
It is mentioned in Silmarillion for sure. I don't know how much detail. I can't remember now.
Children of Húrin as well. It's good.
Yeah, I haven't watched that yet.
Stuff at the end actually. It's kind of that was quite cool.
The audio book of that is narrated by Christopher Lee.
Good. Cool.
Yeah,
that'll be good.
Yeah,
it's in the blood of Saxon men. Saxon
man, the blood of the Saxon man.
Have you listened to the audiobook of The Expeditionary Force yet?
No, and
please do.
You asked that in the last one as well. I need to get round to it.
Oh, it's the best thing I've ever. Seriously, it's so good. Is that
another
good.
R.C. Bray one?
It's R.C. Bray, the best audiobook reading person I've ever listened to. Like sometimes I think I don't know what I've run out of books to listen to. What has R.C. Bray read recently? I'll just fucking listen to that. I don't know what it is, but it's probably going to be good because he's reading it.
Yeah.
But it is the best sci-fi series I have read ever. It's so good.
I'm gonna. Where's my phone?
He's like 13 books in now.
13.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just perfect. It's got the characters are perfect. It's like a modern version of Blake 7.
Oh,
but set in the present day times, not in the future. As in the way the characters are. Like you've got the sarcastic dick, you've got the depressing. It is all the different characters are like, okay, I can relate to all these characters. It's just so good, and I guarantee you, it's gonna be like a classic. They got to buy the rights to it at some point to make it into a TV series.
And then they'll make it woke.
It's just so good. It's so successful.
They're all going to be disabled.
I've said it before. I think you can make Blake 7 woke and it'll work.
Probably. Blake 7 already was woke.
The thing is,
that's my point.
Think they will. I think the world is starting to wise up to this whole wokeness thing, so I think we'll probably be okay. Give it a couple more years. And
I think it's getting boring now. It's a phase.
Yeah, the phase is kind of done.
You said,
it's become a meme.
You said, Jack, about South Park, where they said, "Oh, we're halfway through the woke revolution." So give it 5 years to be at the end of it.
It's starting to become a meme now. So
yeah. When PC Principle first appears, they're like, "Oh shit, it's another PC period." It's like, yeah. How long did the last one last? About 8 years. Yeah. Oh dear.
But since about 2015, so what, like 7 years into it now. 1 more year to go.
Yeah, you can feel it ebbing off. It's all about money, isn't it? When people start to realise this is shit.
Yeah, this is.
I'm going to stop watching it.
Yeah.
It's the Buzz Lightyear film that just came out made like no money, and that's quite woke. And it's kind of like everyone's like, "Oh shit, we needed that to make at least 100 million in this first weekend." I can almost
guarantee you this new Lord of the Rings is going to be the biggest flop ever.
Oh yeah, it will be.
Because of the wokeness. 100%. It's just, I mean, I'm a huge fanatic of Lord of the Rings, and I'm not watching it.
That's
not. I refuse. And that's what's like. People have finally woken up and gone, I just won't watch it.
Yeah.
I just won't. I just won't pay for
woken up to the wokeness.
Woken up to the woke. Yeah.
In order to stop getting woke, I just won't watch the woke, and then the woke will stop.
Well, the trouble is, though, they don't care. That's weird. It's almost like
they will eventually. They'll realise I won't get funding if it's too woke.
It's
almost like
I think we've now gone full circle. We've gone full circle because they went woke with Star Wars, and then eventually Mandalorian saved it when they went back to some traditional storytelling.
I don't know.
Almost saved it. Then we got
stop woking up pre-existing storylines. Like, create your own woke story, please.
They won't. History. Yeah.
You know, create your own woke characters. No problem.
Exactly. We don't need to watch it. But see, they have to do it because they know no one will watch it otherwise.
I have no issue with a black lesbian main protagonist. More than happy to watch that. Just not where it already does. Like, if it doesn't exist in a pre-existing franchise, don't put it in because it doesn't make sense. Why? It's fucking stupid. Just make your own franchise. I'm happy to watch that. No issues with that whatsoever. Just don't put it in a franchise where it doesn't make sense because it ruins the whole franchise.
We all know this is where it's going.
Racists.
Fuck you, Christian.
I don't know. It's just get it out of my fucking media.
Yeah.
It'll go eventually.
Or please make it good. Make it good. Make it. I want to watch. I want to be more
entertained.
Make it good. I want to enjoy it. I don't want it to look like it's just political shit in my face.
You want to be educated.
What? I didn't hear any of that, Harry.
Yeah, it's just
you want to be educated.
I don't want. This is not edutainment. You know, if I want to watch a documentary, I'll watch a documentary. I want to watch sci-fi fantasy bullshit to just disappear into a fantasy world of fun. Don't make it a political lesson. I don't want to watch politics. It's not
saying to Harry while he's doing his OnlyFans poses. That's what he's doing now.
It has to reflect, but Rob, it has to reflect the world we live in.
Why? That's not the world I live in.
No, it's I hate that shit. It's like, yeah, you have to feel seen. Why? I don't want to be seen.
I mean, there are some aspects that I do. Sorry, Harry was talking, and then when I talk, he can't talk for some reason.
I don't need to relate to my heroes.
No, because I'm not a hero.
I'm not a 1,200-year-old Time Lord traveling around in time and space. How am I ever going to like?
I might want to relate to the companion because we're supposed to be there. You know, the companion is like the audience's eyes and seeing the Doctor and this, you know, this crazy fucking lifestyle.
How cool would it be if the Doctor came to my world and I went traveling with him? That's the concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except I'm not.
How it should be.
Yeah.
Anyone could be the Doctor.
No, only the Doctor can be the Doctor. Yeah. That's the point. No human can possibly do that because it's not human.
No.
I'd still like to go to Bilbo Baggins' house and have a party with dwarves. That'd be pretty cool.
I had a thought in my head and it suddenly just popped off, and I'm wondering where it went. I think Harry took it from me.
Wondering where what went?
The thought that was going around in my head is just disappeared.
Right, yeah.
I'm good at that.
Yeah.
Harry's taken it with his face.
Yeah. That's going to be the thumbnail.
Oh dear! Why? What was I saying? What was I going to? What were we even talking about before that? Something about woke? No, I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's just
gone now. It's all gone now.
Bullshit.
My brain hiccuped and now it's fine.
I'm just stuck on Harry having an OnlyFans page. That's never going to leave my brain. There's a bar I need to take you guys up to in central London. I found the other day.
I'll bet you did.
It's amazing. Oh, it's basically
I'm not letting you take me up anywhere.
Got up any weird alleys, mate. Thank you. Get in there.
1920s Batman bar. Right, as you walk through the main door, you've got like a bookcase. You've got to pull a book on it for the actual door to open, so you can go into the bar, like the Batman, like the Batcave. And
let's do that.
Yeah.
I can't be able to go to London.
Right.
Are you crazy?
This
as far as I got to my lounge. This is the best you'll get in like twice a year. You'll manage to convince me to come to my lounge to do this.
Yeah.
You're not going to get me to fucking London.
Get my car. Get my car to London.
I can't drink if I get in my car.
If this video gets put out there,
see what happens.
I will start GoFundMe to get Rob to London.
On a train.
I think it's more time rather than money. I don't think you do a GoFundMe.
No. If we get the money together, time will work itself out. We'll get a GoFundMe together.
For the time.
Yeah.
Baby, buy the babysitter.
Hashtag help Rob have fun. GoFundMe.
Hashtag find Rob's friends.
Find Rob's friends.
There's got to be more fatalist people in the world who want to talk philosophical, theological madness.
Oh,
yeah, we're doing it. I'm setting up a GoFundMe.
Okay.
I'm setting up a GoFundMe for Rob. And how much do we need to get Rob on a night out for and twatted in a good way?
20 quid.
Well, we've got to get taxis for him to get there and back again.
Oh, it's a bit like a Hobbit. 60 quid.
There and back again. A Rob's tale.
It was meant to be.
It won't be quite as interesting.
I think it'd be more interesting.
I'm hoping there won't be any rings involved.
Or lake.
There'll be a lot of
I'm talking about a lake. It's going to be fine.
Yeah, it'll just be a little duck pond.
You got to write 2 sentences about a duck pond. But we will need an interesting.
Water.
Why is there a duck pond with no ducks?
No fucking duck pond, then is it? Just a pond.
Stupid doctor. That wasn't ever like expanded upon, was it? In that episode, he just went,
no.
Why is there a duck pond with no ducks? And then that was it. There wasn't no.
There's multiple ideas that they basically start going off with, and then never do anything with anyway. So I wouldn't worry too much about that.
No,
right.
That was Stephen Moffat in a nutshell, wasn't it?
Right. Yeah. Rob, what's the closest train station to you? Sean, you can edit this bit out.
Bastard.
Right. I'm looking at prices on the interwebs for taxis.
Oh God.
So basically,
depending on demand.
According to this, going from London to
Bastard
is basically £44 each way. So let's call it a solid £100 we need for Rob's taxis. Okay.
Once we get monetized in about 2.5 years, then people can look back on this channel and be like, "Oh, great, right, super chat."
So basically, we need £400. That's £100 for travel. £300 drinking because it's central London.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, how much is a round in this fucking back cave?
Yeah, we can do the medieval banquet again.
Oh yeah, that was good with the bucks and mentions.
I do find certain things to be funny when they shouldn't be.
Oh yeah, that's the best part of humour.
which is why I thought that Babu Frick scene was just so funny, because it shouldn't have been funny. Like, it was so bad. It's like when I watch these YouTube videos about why this scene was so bad, I'm like, yeah, but that's what made it so good. That's why I fucking loved it, because of how shit it was and how badly timed all of the comedy was. Actually made it so much funnier. Big sad
How
moment.
many Oscars can you have?
It's completely fucked all over it. Brilliant.
Well, it's just like, if it's just normal, then it's not funny, is it?
Yes. Oh dear, but it wasn't supposed to be like
funny.
It wasn't funny because of the way they made it funny. It was funny because of how inappropriate it was. They didn't. That wasn't planned. That wasn't even their intention. They just fucked it up, which made it funnier.
So £400. We're going to get Rob out of his house.
If you can achieve it, mate, I'm all in.
He's like, good luck, mate.
I mean, I can't say no.
Out of our 300 subscribers.
Hey, if all of them chip in £1.
313 now. Woo!
Your subscribers barely know me. If anything, I'm like a special guest that just appears every now and then.
The way that this logo works is that you're like front and centre.
Yeah, I love it. I love the fact that I'm the main one in the logo. And I've been in one video.
2.
2 now.
Soon to be 3.
Possibly if we split this up into many videos, it could be a whole series.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
It's like,
milk it.
TikTok it. Do it in 30-second beats.
That's basically what I do. Those quiz videos was just one. It was one video that I just split over 3 weeks. I thought that's just
content, mate.
Boy, work hard.
It's easier to digest.
Everybody, don't forget to go to Awesome Bob's channel and subscribe and like all his videos.
It's been inactive for like 10 years. Don't expect any new content.
We mentioned that once in like one. I think we were doing one of the top 10 worst Doctor Who videos. We were like, oh yeah, we were sitting down watching this episode with Harry and Rob, and we went, oh Rob, by the way, also the Bob's channel, and then
I did get a subscriber once, and I'm like, why?
Pin comment, mate.
I just got an email going, you've got a new subscriber.
You're welcome.
Why? In years.
So why aren't you putting out more content, Rob?
Subscribe to my channel.
More content. What's been going on for the last 10 years?
You can just do this.
Child is what's fucking happened. I've got a family, and you know, shit happens. I said I've got the time of day to do that shit now. For my 4 subscribers.
Which is probably
which is basically you lot. And Bob.
That's basically how it started for us, Jack, wasn't it? It was like, oh great! Like first week we got like 5 subscribers, and they were all us.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I'm surprised we even got that. Like the first videos, the camera quality is basically pitch black, and you can hear myself and Sean talking, and that's it.
Yeah. The audio was great, but the video was non-existent.
I still find it funny that I made over 100 videos,
Yeah.
like really edited and everything.
Yeah, they were great.
For just you. That was it. A whole year of content for you.
I still forget
and me.
The one that you made. I was around your old like one of your old houses, and we were playing one of the scary games. And then I left, and then like the next day you uploaded it. You were like, "Oh no, my friend Sean's gone now. I'm really scared."
I remember you were playing like Wolfenstein or something, and myself and Harry were there. Then we left, and it's like I don't remember what was going on, but I remember we were just singing about Hitler on the moon or something. It was just like it's just one of those weird scenarios where it's kind of like we've been drinking, and somehow it's like turn that song from Futurama about wading on the moon into Nazis on the moon. No idea why we're doing that, but
you think in a parallel universe, I'd be like a big time YouTuber with 1 million subscribers.
It's a lot of it,
but not this one, not this universe. This universe I got
timing,
like 5.
Timing and luck. A lot of it comes down to luck.
To be fair, I don't think
say that.
Yeah, I honestly don't think that my content was shit. I just think that I hadn't broken into it, you know.
Yeah.
And then life happened, and I pulled out at the worst time. But whatever.
Inappropriate joke.
Now, like doing this.
Or I didn't pull out at the right time. Maybe that was the point.
That's what happened.
That's the receiving alone.
It's like giggity. I remember when I had dreams, aspirations,
you had a dream, and
desires. Those were the good old days.
Yeah, of all of 10 years ago.
Now I play League of Legends twice a week. That's what I live for now.
And doing this twice a year.
Hey, if we can get that GoFundMe working and we get that money, we'll get you out there.
Oh,
you know what? We'll do a stretch target. Knock an extra 200 on there. Bring Bastard out as well. I'll bring Bastard out as well. We'll just get them twatted and make a video of those two getting drunk.
Dude, that would be a laugh.
Yeah.
Oh my god. See these spreads itself, but we just now have a stretch goal of 600 quid.
That's fine. We just need to do this live next time, and then people can go yes or no rather than later on.
Because all 5 people who will watch us live will just say no.
It might be one of those weird like things that goes viral for no fucking reason, and we end up like 250 grand. It's like what the fuck?
Yeah, then we can go to the Ritz. We can go to all sorts of random places we didn't think we could go to.
Go to the Savoy and order a beer.
We've got Mayfair. Yeah, you can do it easily.
If we get 250 grand, we'll hire like a fucking boat to sail up and down the Thames for the night. It'd be great.
And like proper
or we
equipment.
could just go on holiday to somewhere sunny.
Don't be silly.
That'd be silly.
That's far too sensible.
Yeah.
We can't do stupid shit, not normal shit.
We'd piss it up the wall in a week.
Yeah.
We'll have to actually make a video out of this to make it worth doing.
Or we could make it like a contribution to the tank museum and drive tanks around. I'm sure they would let us do that if we gave a big enough contribution.
Oh my god, yes.
Over London Bridge.
All 4 of us in a different tank, and we just drive at each other like Destruction Derby.
Oh, see? It writes itself, people.
We should just do that. Can we have a GoFundMe for driving tanks?
Over bridges, yeah.
I tell you what, if one of you is willing to hoe yourself out to Elon Musk, because I hear him and Amber Heard aren't doing too well right now, I'm sure one of you could basically poon daddy up Elon Musk enough for him to give us money. He's a billionaire. He'd be fine.
Well, that's because Amber Heard.
He's bought Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. Sean, you're on Twitter. You can like hoe up to Elon Musk, can't you?
Yeah. Well, consider it. Well, Nerdrotic follows us, so I'm sure Elon Musk can.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. You know, they've got one of them's got a big following, one of them's got a really big following. So
I As much as I love Gary from Nerdrotic, I don't think he's going to give us £250,000 to drive tanks.
I don't know, man.
Nor do I really sure he should.
See this shit.
What about monster trucks?
Monster truck.
Monster trucks, yeah.
Monster trucks.
It's just like that conversation where they imagine if I won the lottery, what would I do with the winnings? And then like,
don't know.
Oh, buy an arena and just do stock car racing.
Well, this is why we're sticking to the £600 GoFundMe, because we can do that.
Swimming pool full of beer and a
I think
straw.
60 quid will be a limit at that.
If we get £600, that pays for us to have a kick-ass night.
I think 600 quid would just about cover a night out in London these days, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, but that's £400 on booze, which is more than enough. And
that would be 2 rounds in London.
It's £500 on booze. No, £400 on booze, and then like £200 for taxis. It's all gold. It's gold.
And a tenner for a kebab.
Yeah.
Would you think would it be worth, like, you could host a Olympic Games or like a gladiatorial games?
That's called Squid Game, mate.
Olympic Games and gladiatorial games, 2 different things.
Yeah, they're quite different.
One involves sport that doesn't hurt, and gladiatorial games which are more violent.
Are you not entertained? There you go. We come full circle again.
I'm suggesting that we should all 4 of us fight each other for other people's entertainment to see if we can generate money that way.
No, they fight for our entertainment.
For our entertainment.
And then we just sit here and laugh.
Yeah.
I think.
The thing is, you could probably just round up a load of homeless people to do that. Cheap.
Well, or Takeshi's Castle, but with booze.
I'm not sure this is woke enough for today's generation to accept.
Oh, not like Unbeatable Banzuki.
Yeah.
Sean, you have to let me know whichever section of video this goes into. Any.
This could be the intro.
I will set up a GoFundMe to get Rob drunk in London. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, all right.
Fucking
Rob, you're getting stuck with this, and if it gets to
London,
it's too big.
Probably going to take me
too
a
many
week to
people.
edit all this, but I'll do it.
It's going to be 6 people. It's not going to be that many.
What, in London? Are you going to book out the whole of London? You bought
thing.
600 quid for that.
No, we're just going to go find a pub in London. We're
just going to have people in it from London.
The Batcave place.
Batcave place. It's going to happen, Rob.
Okay.
It's going to happen.
Harry's face is like, this is a terrible idea.
It is a terrible. It's a terrible idea. It's the worst idea I've had in a long while.
Go to Wookey Hole and get drunk there.
It won't work.
Why won't it work?
No, I said it's white work. Oh, okay, carry on.
I think instead we should just book out Wookey Hole and just bring loads of alcohol and get pissed in a cave.
That works.
Real Batcave.
Cyberman.
Is there a cave we could go to and film in? Like an actual cave?
Wookey Hole.
Yeah, or Cornwall.
Where's that?
That's basically
Actually, there is one near me. Fucking knows what it's called though.
Yeah. Do you remember Revenge of the Cybermen?
I vaguely remember Revenge of the Cybermen. Yeah.
That's got Wookey Hole in it.
Yes.
You want to go?
Yeah,
Wookey
I
Hole?
say it in Somerset. It's my favourite hole. Came out before I thought about it. The West Country.
We'll buy as much booze as GoFundMe will allow. We'll get a camera and lighting set up, and we'll make a video there.
For no fucking reason whatsoever.
Just to drink.
Just don't. Just do it. Don't introduce it. Don't even make a point of it. Don't mention it in any point. Just do it and see what the reaction is.
We'll post it up.
Yeah. Nerdaholics in a cave. That'll be the title of the video.
Don't even say that. Just do it as a normal video and see how people react to the fact that we just did it in a cave and didn't even mention the fact they were in a cave or make a point.
And we don't even mention on the video that we're there. We just carry on as normal.
Just carry on as normal, so but we're in a cave.
We're just doing just on what we're doing now in a cave.
Yeah. Exactly.
But all dressed in tuxedos. All dressed in tuxedos.
If we do mention it, I'll edit it out.
Don't mention it at any point.
Tuxedos in a cave.
See, this is the sort of thing. If I won the lottery, I'd be doing stupid shit like that. Like I always said, I would just walk around town in like a samurai outfit. Just for no reason. And I wouldn't mention it. I'd just go around my life dressed as a samurai.
Or like that ghost sheet that you wore one time, the fighting cock, Rob. Remember?
Yeah, exactly. I fucking loved that ghost outfit.
That was amazing.
And I, just I mean, granted, it was Halloween, so it wasn't like random.
It was still just. It was quite unique because like no one else was wearing one.
I've never seen anyone actually do that. Like it's something you see in cartoons all the time. I've never seen anyone do it. So I thought, fuck it, I'll do it. I'll go dressed as a ghost with a sheet on my head. And I wore it all fucking night. And I couldn't see where I was going. And I fell over so much.
And you were still drinking, though. Impressive.
Yeah. I refused to take it off. It's the mystery. Nobody knew who I was. I made so many friends. I made so many new friends that night. No one knew who the fuck I was. I just sit at some random table. It's great. I love doing shit like that. I love doing shit. It's just funny. It makes people's day. It's just look at you. What's going on? It lightens up their day.
Oh, you're a ghost. Yeah.
No.
I'm just a sheet.
Just came out of work.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah. I'm in the bed linen department.
Oh, it was a great night. I fucking hurt myself so much. If I could see anything. I could see. It's like literally walking around like this. I could just see tiny pinpricks just directly in front of my face. Nothing underneath. I couldn't see where my legs were going. Every time there's steps, I just fall over. Can't see them.
And it's so dark in that place anyway. There's like no light apart from Last Orders. That's it. Didn't you say there was like a pub like down the road from you? Like I suppose there is.
Well, I'm sure there is anywhere you live.
I'm sure there's a pub down the road from everybody.
Yes, that's how pubs work.
So we'll just do that then.
They're always down the road.
Then we don't need.
I don't think I've ever been to any of them around here. I'm sure they're
if
fine.
we have 600 quid, then we can just spend most of it on beer.
Yeah.
You know what? I've even just had a more mad idea. Is we could just do this, but in our respective local pubs.
I'm not sure I'll be confident. Just sit on my own.
Just sit on my own with a phone out. And people just like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just recording a YouTube video.
Right, so Harry, that means what? So you'll go to the
bastard.
Jack goes to the whichever one's closest to you.
Bastard.
Closest to me.
I'll go to the
Bastard.
and then Rob can go to wherever the one his is.
Around here.
Yeah. Yeah, the middle of nowhere in.
Unless I can actually get some decent food. Oh, so that's actually going to work out quite well.
Yeah. And then people can go, what are you doing? Never mind, fuck off. And then we'll just carry on.
To be honest, people just chat on their phone in the pub anyway. I've noticed it. It's
Yeah.
weird.
No, the whole point is we need to do something weird and out there. Like we've got to all do a video while sitting on the London Arms and getting twatted. It's fine.
Everyone's sitting on the toilet.
Yeah, we should,
Everyone's sitting on the
Totally should do Wookey Hole.
you should do that. That would be amazing.
Didn't they turn it into a theme park at one point? Like,
What,
Yeah.
in the
toilet?
Victorian
Kind of.
times.
It still is.
Kind of.
Like it's like a shit theme park.
Could we all get drunk at a
It's,
zoo?
it's a West Country theme park. Like
Oh,
there's no rides. It's just attractions. I
Yeah.
love it. I
And
fucking love it. It's so quaint.
Inaccurate, anatomically impaired dinosaurs like
Yeah,
a Crystal
essentially
Palace.
that's what it is. That's what it is. It's fucking brilliant. Oh.
Yeah. Well,
It's the sort of place you'd expect to see Brian Blessed dressed up as something, you know.
The only trouble with pubs is like if there's like even a hint of music. Because remember, Jack, when we did like
Oh yeah, forget that.
did like a Rogue One sort of half review in the
Bastard.
Well, yeah.
and it got like copyright claimed because there was a song playing in the background.
you can't.
So
You can't.
It's got to be no
They don't
music.
play music
anywhere.
in Wookey Hole.
outside.
They sell cheese in Wookey Hole, but that's not copyright claim, so they would be right there.
If you just don't mention the brand name,
Yeah.
Just don't
I'm
mention the
definitely
cheese.
Wensleydale in your video.
yeah, then we'll get copyright claimed by Wallace and Gromit.
Actually, you know what? If Wallace and Gromit copyright claimed us, I'd probably be happy about that. 'Cause it's Wallace and Gromit.
Oh, we've made it.
With Aardman Productions.
Yeah.
No, actual Wallace and Gromit, they need to do it. If it's Aardman Productions, I'd be like, who the hell are they?
Yeah.
The
But
animation
the
company that
fictional
made Wallace and
characters,
Gromit.
the real fictional characters.
Well,
Yeah.
Wallace is dead now. Well, the actor's dead now.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
The fictional character is dead now.
Yeah. How dare you?
Oh, that makes me sad.
Yeah.
It's ruined my dreams. I'll never be able to watch the wrong trousers ever again.
They went really wrong.
What's the Oddman animation actually did?
Hey?
What's the last thing they actually did?
Pirates Adventure with Scientists?
Yeah, that pirate thing, wasn't it?
No, they did something else afterwards. They did like the cavemen and football thing.
Oh, yeah, that is quite funny, that actually. The caveman with Doug the footballer.
Doug the footballer?
Never even heard of it.
It's about your brother, Harry.
It is about my brother.
It's I'm trying to remember what it's called.
Early Man? Something like
Early
that?
Man, that's it. It's something like Early Man. Hang on. Phone Google this one.
I mean, I know Iron Man Productions still exists because they're still making stuff.
I don't think it's made anything in such a long time. Yeah, it is Early Man.
See, if you're like successful enough with this
concept,
let's go farming. We can just keep doing it and just keep going to stupid places.
Yeah.
And again, everything that can be our theme. That can be our thing. We just where are they going to cast from now, and we just never mention it ever.
That is
all sorts of odd, bizarre places, and just think.
And that's kind of a niche. That's a niche thing as well.
Be the niche. Never mention it.
Yeah, we could do it like at the end of a pier.
Well, that'll be like when we're hugely successful.
In
one of the orbs of the London Eye.
Yeah.
Like a half an hour video. We have to get it
random
done
places.
By the time it gets round again.
Yeah. That should be something.
Oh, we have to get off now. Oh, bollocks. Right, let's get drunk.
Where's this pub?
Right. Until next time, Leatherholics. Cheers. Bye.
You did an intro as well.
Intro. What are you on about?
We sort of did an intro.
Did we?
Yeah, it was very.
We obviously did this ourselves. We're just in the video.
We'll do the outro before the intro. Yeah.